It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship, and can I congratulate my colleague on the Scottish Affairs Select Committee for securing this important debate. East Renfrewshire is home to the thriving small businesses and micro-enterprises that power the British economy, whilst also providing investment and employment for the local community. It is these companies that help to make Britain one of the largest economies in the world, and it is these companies that help to provide our vital public services. For more established names such as Barhead Travel and AC White, based in East Renfrewshire but world leaders in their sector, to dynamic newer enterprises such as J&M Murdoch & Son, recently recognised in London Stock Exchange's 1,000 Companies to Inspire Britain 2018 report. It is to these companies and the many thousands like them that the Scottish and UK governments must prioritise and support if we are to encourage investment and to continue to grow our sluggish economy. However, for too long, a high oil price has hidden Scotland's economic underperformance, allowing the Scottish Government of both colours to neglect fixing the Scottish economy's fundamentals. Most recently, the Scottish Parliament's own highly respected Economy, Jobs and Fair Work Committee unanimously agreed a report which stated that in Scotland, levels of GDP growth are marginal, productivity low and wages are stagnant. Scotland's major problem, as I think the honourable gentleman highlighted, is its productivity. Productivity is at a lower level than it was in 2010, and the gap between UK and Scottish productivity is at a larger level than it was in 2009. Now, the Scottish Government does deserve some credit for setting up the new Scottish National Investment Bank. However, it was ultimately a rehashed announcement of something that's been supposedly launched by this tired separatist government multiple times. So if it does come to fruition, I think it will be a very positive step for the Scottish economy, but we'll have to wait and see what actually happens. The Scottish economy grew at less than half the rate of the UK and slower than every single EU country last year, and future predictions are not particularly positive, with the Scottish Fiscal Commission forecasting that Scotland will fail to match wider UK economic growth for the next 5 years. And that's really important, Mrs May, because that means less money for the Scottish NHS, Scottish schools and other Scottish public services. It's less money in the pocket of those struggling to get by just now and businesses taking on fewer staff. Less money circulating in the local economy, something that contributes to the picture of high streets across Scotland where local businesses simply cannot continue. Because let's not forget that behind the economic data, this is a very real story for people throughout Scotland. Entrepreneurs are risk-takers, innovators and wealth creators. They need both our governments to support them, and too often they are the victims of competing priorities. The UK Government has recognised the importance of increasing productivity with the publication of the Industrial Strategy, and City deals are an important part of solving the productivity puzzle. The Glasgow City Region deal is investing £44 million in East Renfrewshire, and I was pleased to visit a number of the projects recently. But what they also demonstrate is the benefits of Scotland's two governments working together rather than pulling apart, and we need a heck of a lot more of that. Meanwhile, businesses in rural Scotland, including areas such as Eaglesham and Upplemore, continue to be hampered by poor broadband, a basic necessity in the 21st century. People across Scotland have been hit with a double whammy as the SNP government raises taxes on more than 1 million Scots, 22,000 of them in my constituency, on top of significant council tax hikes. Local employers suffer with the highest business rates across Europe, and I don't understand why the Scottish Government believes that when 80% of our economy is based in the service sector, that it can boost economic growth by taking more out of hard-working people's wallets. The truth is that the Scottish economy needs a kick. It is flatlining, and the Scottish Government's high tax agenda may be the final straw. The UK Government has introduced various measures like the National Living Wage, personal allowance increases and wider business initiatives like the Industrial Strategy to help mitigate some of the damage, but it also can and should do more. We need a pragmatic approach, some better joined-up thinking between Scotland's two governments. 9 successive quarters of declining activity in the construction sector, for example, is not acceptable, and I thought the Honourable Lady for Midlothian dealt with some of the challenges facing that sector very well in her speech. Yesterday, we saw the departure of an economic secretary from Holyrood, whose legacy is one of declining productivity, declining skills, declining job quality, declining investment, and an economy with one of the lowest GDP growth rates in the OECD. Scotland needs a Scottish Government prepared to invest and give businesses the opportunity and security they so desperately need. Roll on 2021 when we will finally get one.